Greetings, Play Unplugged fan. This is Andrew Lotz here with Play Unplugged Television. I'm here with Christopher Badell and Adam Rebottaro of Greater Than Games, and we're going to talk about their game Sentinels of the Multiverse, as well as some of their upcoming sci-fi things. So, gentlemen, first off, Sentinels of the Multiverse is probably the most played game in my locality right now. We love it to death. Talk to us about what makes the game so great, in your opinion.
Sure. Well, so Sentinels of the Multiverse came about because we wanted to play a game where you felt like a superhero. Adam and I have been friends for a couple of decades. We played every superhero game we could find, and we liked a lot of them, and we didn't like a lot of them, but the thing we never felt like is I never felt like I was a superhero when I was playing that game. Mm-hmm. So we wrote a game just to play for ourselves that made us feel that way, that we were fighting, we were working as a team, we were fighting against a villain, we're in a dynamic environment, all those cool things are happening, and we feel like heroes. And we made that game, we played that game, and we played it with a friend of ours who's like, you should make a company, and a bunch of things happened, and the rest is history.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, one of the neat things about this game was when you get multiple characters, and the teams really function neat together. There's a lot of different roles. You can get the kind of buffer characters, some of the active fighting characters in lots of different ways. Every character has their own dynamic and their own sort of resource system, and it works great. Can you talk to us about what goes into getting a game to work so well with such variety in the characters?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, one of the big things that we went into with our play testing and our design and everything was we wanted to have very different characters. Each one could take up several roles where, sure, you could play this guy in a damagey way, but you could also play him in a support way, and making sure that each of them had the story was more as important as the mechanics, and saying, okay, the story of this character is this is what they did in their life, and making that come together and making that work really informed the mechanics and informed the balance and all that. So
the process on that essentially is we will come up with the character concept, and then that will inform the mechanics subsequently. So we really just try to capture the feel of those powers and how they work in a team environment specifically. And then that will basically just dictate the mechanics to us, and they'll get refined. But
and then hundreds of hours of balancing time.
Yeah.
So.
Of course.
Play it.
Right.
Now, one of the neat things about it is you've got such a backstory for the characters, and the game is sort of evolved through the expansions. You've got 3 expansions for the game, and some of the expansions have characters who were in prior ones and now they've changed, or there's a villain who's turned good, right? And there's
a hero who's
turned evil. So there's a lot of neat stuff like you'd expect from a comic book. So how do you chart that plan? Is it an organic thing, or is it something that you say with each expansion, what do we do this time?
We've had plans for the stuff you see in each expansion from day one. Like a lot of the things, I mean, if you look at the cards and you look at some of the arts of the cards in the very first game, there were little hints to things that we're releasing now and things we haven't released yet that we're planning for years from now. And like Adam was saying, where the story dictates the mechanics, the story also has dictated the expansions and things like that, where we have a story that we are telling, and that story, we just earlier this year hit about the midpoint of that story.
We're in Act 2.
Yeah, we're solidly in Act 2.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of cool things that are going to come out of that, and what dictates that is where the story needs to go, and the characters are going to follow that path, and we're really excited about what's coming up next.
Yeah.
So,
there are a lot of things that we've just been waiting to do. Shattered Timelines was one of those big things. That it was just from the moment we started the game, we said, I really want to do this, but it's not the right time for it. We need to wait. And that was Shattered Timelines. We have one more big thing that we've really wanted to do since day one.
Any spoilers for our viewers?
Yeah, no, there's going to be a really cool thing that happens, and I need a truck to come through right now and hit us. And it's like, oh no! But no, there's a lot of really cool stuff, and look within the next year for the boundaries of the Sentinels to be expanded significantly. So.
Very good. Now, you've used your success with Sentinels, which has been pretty fantastic, to start another game you're working on now. Could you talk some about that game and where it's going, more of a sci-fi twist?
Yeah, absolutely. Galactic Strike Force is a cooperative deck-building, space battles, ship-building, awesome game of coolness. So it is a card-based game, except that you're also... Each player plays as a ship with a pilot flying through the galaxy. You're all playing kind of the underbelly of the galaxy. You're smugglers and bounty hunters,
mercenaries and
assassins and gamblers,
thieves,
and you're teaming up. You're working together with other people of ill repute. Why? Well, because there's some terrible thing that's happening in the galaxy that no one's doing anything about, because they can't or they won't, and you have to stop it. And so you've got your ship and you've got your deck of cards and you've got your small starting area, and you know what you're doing, but you've up to this point been a gambler or an assassin or something. You're not ready to fight a war. And so you've got to fly through the galaxy, you've got to upgrade your ship, you've got to get new resources, you've got to team up with your teammates and evolve your ship and build up your stuff. You're going to learn new tricks for how to fly your ship, you're going to put new shields and new weapons on your ship, and that's all a cool resource management, deck building sort of aspect. And then you're going to take all of that and slot it into a war game, because the middle of each round has this kind of war game aspect where you have a tactical battle that happens between you and all the other ships in that sector. And that's really where the game shines, is where you build your stuff, because a lot of deck building games and a lot of those resource management games, you're building to get the most points, and then whoever has the most points wins. Well, in this, you're building to have the best ship, and then that ship is going to go into battle against other ships, and you better hope you have the most points.
Can you tell us where you're at in the design process and when viewers might expect the game to come out?
Yeah.
Right now, we're still finishing up a lot of the art. And a lot of the playtesting also.
Yeah, we're wrapping up the playtesting and development right now,
yeah.
but we're quickly approaching the end of our art and our development and everything, and we're definitely going to have a release of this fall. So.
Well, again, this is Andrew Lotz with Play Unplugged TV with Adam Rebottaro and Christopher Badell of Greater Than Games, and please check them out on their websites and check us out on playunplugged.com. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.